Yes, this isn't just make-believe. Ancient peoples were actually doing this. Signal towers, signal fires were being lit on top of the pyramidal mounds in eastern North America. Signal fires were being lit on top of mounds in prominence throughout the British Isles. This was a very common system, and I'm betting that people all over the ancient world use this system as some kind of a means of communication. Yeah, what is it? What? There we go. There we go. Yeah. So, the horizon calendar, then we have the archaeoastronomy. We've been through some of that, which is the lining up of the structures, the layout of the cosmic template, sacred geometry and metrology. Underneath all of these, they're not just randomly placed. There's geometric correlations. These are just some of the examples of geometry being used to set out harmonic proportions in ancient structures. And of course, anything that is being built. And Ryan, does this, look at these three squares, overlapping squares? Looks familiar, doesn't it? One of your slides this morning had a sequence of overlapping squares. But yeah, so all of the sacred spaces, one of the key elements was the use of harmonic geometry, which achieved an apotheosis during classical Islam architecture. They used it to create these amazing, amazing mosaics. It's all geometric. The Gothic cathedrals. This is, that's, I think, what? Over here? Yeah, I think so. In my other show, I've got them labeled. I forgot what they are. But this is stuff, you know, I teach all of this, how to lay out all these patterns in the advanced sacred geometry courses. And I'm thinking, you know, we got to have something where we do something like this, just because it's so incredibly beautiful. And you look at the workmanship and the artisanship and the dedication that it takes to creating things like this. Two of the people, the researchers that I've drawn from a lot, Keith Critchlow, I had the opportunity of doing several extended lessons, classes, workshops with him. Time Stand Stills, New Light on Megalithic Science. John Michel, he passed away before I had the opportunity to meet him, but The Dimensions of Paradise, the proportions and symbolic numbers of ancient cosmology. And he has a very interesting quote, important quote out of the book of Revelations. The leaves of the tree, and that's the tree of life, were for the healing of nations. And this gets us back to this same idea again that I think is fundamental at the core of the whole Grail tradition, which is about the healing of the earth, the healing of the king, the healing of the decimated culture, society. It's the same kind of healing that we need to bring to our nation, to our society, to our system of education, because it's fallen into chaos. And the Holy Grail, whole symbology of the Grail, may provide some kind of an antidote that we can use effectively. From Revelation 22, verse 2, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it and on either side of the river was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. And then that brings us to harmonic design, sacred geography, and landscape design. We've seen that. And alchemy is ultimately the amplification of natural forces. You see here, this is from an old alchemical tract, and you'll notice here, this is the underground water flowing through this circuit. Notice the dragon, right? And notice that the water is transformed into blood, and this is because the circulatory system of the earth and the circulatory system of the human biosystem are parallels of each other. They're counterparts, see? And notice the trees bearing their fruit. And this is essentially the basic idea behind alchemy right here. Permaculture, the cycling of the cosmic life force. And I know many of you are familiar with the concepts of permaculture. This is now what gets us into the whole force field idea. What is this field or pattern of planetary energies and forces? One of the books I've drawn upon from years ago, Space, Times, Transients, and Unusual Events. And they came up with this idea, these researchers, Michael A. Persinger and Ghislaine F. Lafreniere, came up with this idea, which has been pretty much verified, that there is an electric field column which is produced by accumulating stress in subsurface regions. Now, you all know that the moon induces tides in the oceans, right? And it's visible, you can see it. But the same lunar movement induces tides within the entire hydrosphere. So the realm of underground water that's moving through the lithosphere, through the bedrock, it's also being influenced by the heavenly motions.